Squatters, welcome back to the Squatter Camp podcast YouTube channel. Thank you very much for people who continue to support, to watch my channel, to engage, and I really appreciate. That's number one. I want to thank the support. I want to welcome the new subscribers. I'm so much grateful to have this community of the squatters. Let's continue engaging. Apparently on the news, there is a very serious problem, which is a criminal syndicate of extortionists. Extortionists are people who extort money from innocent people, from mostly operating business. We know that we've got construction mafias in South Africa. By the way, it's a new criminal syndicate under the Ramaphosa leadership, under the ANC leadership. Yes, we'll always politicize issues in our country because we have got leaders who have been elected to lead this country. Apparently now in the Western Cape, in Cape Town, local business owners, the street vendors, the hawkers, they have started closing their business because extortionists are actually requesting half of their income, half of what they generate on their businesses, and this has now become acceptable to them, and they have actually decided to close. Some of them, most of them, they have decided to close their businesses because they couldn't cope anymore. So right now, I want to talk about this. In KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, we have had this incident of people who are extorting money from business owners. The police have retaliated with a force to force. I don't want to touch the story of the recent incident of people being shot, being accused of being extortionists and all of that. We've got so many criminals in South Africa. That's number one. Number two, I will always protect our police because I know how to be exposed in such volatile situations whereby you are supposed to arrest an armed someone who's dangerous, who can retaliate with a live round. So police officers are human and sometimes they have to protect their lives. So the other things will just follow later. I'm not worried about them. What I don't want is for us to lose our police officers. Now, this extortion, it's all over. I want to talk about this issue in Gauteng, to be specific. I have recently observed that the Indians' spaza shops, Pakistanis' spaza shops, lately, the robberies have actually disappeared. Like there's no more robberies in their shop. We used to hear maybe 2-3 years back that they robbed this store, they robbed this shop, these supermarkets, in townships. Now they are no longer robbed. I'm not saying they must be robbed, but I've observed that these people are paying extortion money so that they call it protection fee, by the way, in Joburg. So this is a criminal syndicate, which is a well-organized crime, which I believe some of the politicians are actually involved in this criminal syndicate. Now, what do we do as citizens? You can't find a job. When you try to start your business, they rob you. You know how these people approach you? These people approach you when you're operating on your business. They talk to you nicely. That, listen, we can provide security on your business. We can make sure there's no robbery. We can make sure you are safe. And if you refuse, because they give you a certain amount that on a monthly basis, you need to pay us this much. If you can't pay them, or if you don't want to pay them, you know what they do? They will tell you that, listen, we know where you stay, we know your family, and you are not safe. They threaten you with your family, they threaten you with your life, they threaten to disrupt your business, they threaten to rob you, they threaten you with break-ins. In which way? They will say, if you don't give us this much, whatever happens to your business, don't tell us. These extortionists themselves are criminals. So they are actually playing, two lives. This other side, they are criminals. They are breaking into people's business premises to make them feel the pain of not paying for the protection fee. On this other side, they make sure that these businesses which they are protecting don't experience any break-ins and all of that. So in South Africa, it's now becoming difficult to operate anything. It means people must just sit at home, be unemployed and starve. I don't know what kind of solution we can have for this, but I know for sure that in the police, there's intelligence. There's intelligence, there's TRT, there's all the divisions that should be dealing with these crimes. Now, I want to enter the political space. Western Cape is run by the Democratic Alliance. We blame the ANC on everything. They do. Fine. Fair enough. Why is Western Cape black people experiencing these issues when they're supposed to be protected by the same government that they say, no, white people are better than black people with the administration? The Democratic Alliance only cares about white people in the Western Cape. They don't care about the Kailichas and all those other townships which are actually, congested, full of crime, full of poverty and all. They don't care about those areas. They only run their white areas. Because if the ANC fails, cool, in other provinces. Why also the Democratic Alliance is failing to protect these poor people? I know that also in Western Cape, there's construction mafias. People will come when a company got this tender and say, you give us this much or else you are not going to operate. The whole government is watching this issue unfolding. Our law enforcement authorities, our politicians, people who are in parliament, they don't talk about this issue. Because somehow, if they keep on ignoring these issues, we happen to believe that they are part of the problem. They are the beneficiaries of the system. They are the beneficiaries of this criminal cartel. It's worrisome because, I don't know. It's becoming hard in South Africa to actually survive. Because if you can't find employment, you can't operate a business, what exactly should you do? Where must we live as citizens of this country? And in this issue, I don't want to label it as a tribe issue or ethnic group or whatsoever. It's the issue that is perpetuated by criminals who are connected with the police, who are connected with the politicians. I want to raise this point, by the way, before I wrap up. The EFF MP from KZN was being interviewed on a television news, and he mentioned something very important, that General Mkonazi mentioned in the presence of the Minister of Police that he's being witch hunted. There's a political campaign to actually destroy his character. Senzo Mchunu was there in that meeting. He never said anything. He never disputed anything. He never responded. So these things shows that politicians somehow are involved in this. They know what exactly is happening. This is what we call an underworld, where criminals are operating and they can do anything they want. They do as they please. As much as the rate of crime is going up, Where are the authorities to combat this crime, to stop these criminals? In South Africa, if you are a law-abiding citizen, you are always a victim. I don't know why. When you are a criminal, when you are a hardcore criminal, no, you become friends with police, you become friends with other people who regard you as a hero. When you are a law-abiding citizen, they see you as an idiot. If these criminals continue to extort money from these poor business operators, why can't the government intervene? They can always find the kingpin of this whole criminal cartel. They can always have their intelligence to find the information. I think that is what Mkonas is doing in KZN. But because of the constant interference of politicians, it's very difficult for that man to operate in that area. If we had people like General Mkonas in all these 9 provinces as provincial commissioners, I do not think crime will be at this high rate, because we have got people who are sitting on senior positions and doing absolutely nothing. By the way, the last time when I was checking the statistics, how many police officers do have criminal record in the subs and all those things? You find that 35 senior managers in the police force do have serious criminal records. They have criminal records themselves. So how do we task such people to fight crime when they themselves have committed crimes and their own senior positions, whereby they will issue instructions to their subordinates? If your manager has got a criminal record and you want to arrest a drug dealer, then he tells you to stop arresting the man, why would you carry on with the arrest? Because you don't have a protection from your superior, someone who's supposed to protect you, that, listen, that is a good job. It means for you to be promoted, you need to be corrupt. That's the ANC system. That's how they operate. But I'm very much worried with this issue, because it's all over. Even in Gauteng, if you don't pay the protection fee, they come and break into your store and steal your equipment. You buy another equipment, the same thing happens. So you can see that you are going absolutely nowhere. If they can't break in, they will come in broad daylight and rob you. It means they are taking that same extortion money by force now. They send their boys. They send their boys to come there and mess up with you. Where is the protection of the citizens? Where is the protection of the community? The innocent people who are living their ordinary lives? I don't know, squatters. This is becoming a concern, and if we don't pay attention to this, the sooner the better. No one will be allowed to operate a business in South Africa without the permission of the extortionists. Thank you, squatters, for watching my content. Let's continue engaging. And I feel this issue is, I don't know. I want to hear your views. This issue is becoming, unacceptable. It's scary. Very much so. Sharp squatters.